Monzavous Ray Edwards.
Okay, what is it that you do?
Well, that's a tough question. I guess a better question would be, what is it that I don't do? But I am an Olympic athlete. I say that because I still have desires to go back and run, people. So, but anyway, also I am the founder of the world's only on-demand chiropractic app called GoChyro. I'm a personal trainer, track and field coach, motivational speaker. I mean, I can just keep going on and on and on.
So where are you from?
Opelika, Alabama. little small town. It's right outside Auburn University. You ever heard of Auburn University? Go Tigers, by the way. I'm a huge Auburn University fan.
Okay, tell us about where you're from. Tell us how to say it again and then tell us about it.
You know, a lot of people get it confused because there's actually an Opelika, Florida, and I'm from Opelika, Alabama. Both spelled the same. It's about that big. We're about an hour and I'd say 20 minutes from the heart of Atlanta, west ways. We got approximately about 4 or 5 stoplights. You know, we're not the little small Mayberry town now. You know that just got a sheriff. You know, we don't have that, but you know it's a small town. It's definitely a small town. I love my hometown too. Love it to death.
Okay, tell us more about your hometown.
It was a textile town. You know, so let me break it down to y'all what that is. All right, so back in the modern day, you know, day, age, and time, and you know, slavery, you know, during that time, my city was actually one of those places that was slave trade, you know. So we're a railroad town, one of the railroad towns in the South. So being from that environment in that area, you could pretty much know what life would be like, you know, even when I grew up, you know, because I mean, you keep in mind, you know, we're also 45 minutes north of Selma, Alabama. You know, we all know Selma, you know. So growing up in Opelika, I will actually say is the reason why I am everything that I am today. You know, it wasn't one of those rough cities, you know, but it wasn't one of those easy cities at all. Everybody knew everybody, but the sad part about that is nobody care that they knew you, they would still kill you. You know, so and I mean by that, I mean that's not even like black versus white. You know, that's just black on black. You know, so that alone was one of the reasons that motivated me to get up out of there. You know, and then you had the discrimination and the segregation when you had the white, you know, not mixing with us. So, you know, for me, I'm a star child, so I love everybody. And growing up, I wasn't able to deal with that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I like, Zach's my best friend. He's cool. He's white. You know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, you know, Adrian's my best friend. He's cool. He's black. You know what I'm saying? But Adrian and Zach weren't friends. You know, so, you know, but...
So what did your parents, tell us about your parents, how did your parents feel about that?
Well, my mom's like me, you know. I got a lot of who I am and what I am from my mom. You know, she loves everybody. You know, she don't see, my mom's never seen color at all. You know, my dad, the exact same way. You know, neither one of them saw color. So they did the best they could to make sure that they kept me away from those environments that was more color, you know, biased. You know, they didn't really want me, you know, out in the projects and places like that, so we didn't stay there, you know. I mean, my mom at one point in time, she went as far as we lived out in the country, like in the woods, like literally in the woods. You know what I'm saying? And then she would drive me up to school or whatever. So, you know, they were both very aware of where we lived at, you know, so they did everything they could to make sure that that was not where I was going to reside at. You know what I mean? So even though they were there and they were settled, you know, and they were comfortable, you know, they didn't want me there because times had changed. You know what I'm saying? Generations had changed. You know, back when they was growing up in Opelika, all they had to worry about was really much of nothing because it was segregated. It was like, okay, white folks stay on this side, you know, black folks stay on this side, you know what I'm saying? And we was programmed so much to where it was normal to us because we actually had what we call the black folks rec and the white folks rec. You know what I'm saying? So if you're like, I'm finna go to the rec, they like, you going to the black folks rec or the white folks rec? And this is like when we in middle school, high school still, you know, today they probably wouldn't change it, but that's all we know. Like, oh, the white folks rec. Now we going to the white folks rec. They got a good pool. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was weird because that was really okay to say. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, we going to the black folk rec, you know? So like back then, I remember that part as a kid. So my mom done grew up in that type of environment to where it wasn't a problem. It was an understanding like, okay, this is outside, we live in peace, you know what I'm saying? What they feared about more was the black on black that had started in my city. They didn't care about the white folk, and the white folks stayed on their side. They was like, no, we gotta get you out of here because y'all killing each other. You know what I'm saying?
What's going on with the black on black?
Man, no jobs. You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind, you know what I'm saying, it's a small town. And then, like I said, it was a textile town to where we only had like 3 good, you know what I'm saying, factories that you could work at, you know. And this is like still like back when, you know, like I'm in high school, you had 3 good factories you could work at. Even though like Auburn University was literally right next door, you know, you gotta have degrees and all that type of stuff to get a job out there, you know. So most of the people in the city was there because they graduated high school, you know. So it wasn't a lot of job, wasn't a lot of work. You know, when you ain't got a lot of job, when you ain't got a lot of work, then you ain't got a lot of money floating around. And when you ain't got a lot of money floating around, you got people having more time to themselves. You know what I'm saying? So when you have people having more time to themselves, you have people doing nothing at home more, which means you can Netflix and chill more, which means now you got more babies coming out. Which means now you got more babies coming out and there's no money. So now that chain effect starts to, okay, well, I got to feed my family, but there's no money to get. So what you got to do? Whatever it is I got to do. And when you start doing that, the consequences usually end to...
So when your parents were keeping you separated from that, did you ever feel any like missing of ratchet shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you got ratchet kinfolks and shit, right?
Actually, no. You know what? No, I really don't. You know, and that's the other blessing about my family. You know, like even both sides, my mom's side and my dad's side, we really didn't. You know, because my grandma, well, all the way up to my great grandma Mother, you know what I'm saying? I even remember her. You know, when I was getting done with school back in like kindergarten, I used to go to her house. You know what I'm saying? Like, my family always been about, you know what I'm saying? First of all, you know, God first, you know. And they've been about just complete discipline. Like everybody, all my grandmothers and aunties and everybody. So it's like, there was never no ratchetness going on because, like, nah, Big Mom wasn't playing that, first of all. You know what I'm saying? My grandma Sarah, she definitely wasn't playing it, you know. So, like, nah, we didn't really have a lot of that. You know, but at the same time, my family had a whole lot of respect, though, because we didn't have the ratchetness, but we had the gangster. You see what I'm saying? So that was the, you know, the flip side of it. Like you mentioned my family name in my city, it's like, oh yeah, you know, you don't really, you know what I'm saying? So it was totally different. So we had like a different type of atmosphere and you know and status in my family, at least on my mom's side, because of that, you know. So I mean, I remember seeing Jordans on my uncles and them feet when drum was playing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember going into my uncle's closet one day, you know, and then just having to drop a shoebox and our whole rod of money come out and I run the bit more like, oh, look what I found in the closet, you know, I found all that money, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, nah, my family They been about that money forever. Like, wasn't a lot of ratchetness going on at all.
So let me ask you a question: Is there any parallels in that family atmosphere that you think helped you go so far in sports?
Yeah, I say yes and no at the same time. I'll say yes because it taught me something different, you know, because at the same time, while my family was, you know, doing all that or whatever, and they was, you know, they was excellent in everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my uncles was #1, star football, star basketball, star track. You know what I'm saying? My mama, star softball, everybody. So it was just in my genes to be, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in my family is an athlete. Literally, like, everybody in my family is an athlete. Like, you can look, my little niece, when she come to my gym now, you know what I'm saying? She a month old, she end up doing pull-ups. You know, it's just, I mean, it's just in us, you know? So I think because my family had and they took care of us, they sheltered me to a way to where that was what allowed me to be able to blossom and get out of it, because as they was having to go out and do that, you know, my uncles and them, they was having to do that. They was having to protect, you know what I'm saying, make money, do whatever they got to do. Oh, excuse me. But since they was doing it, we didn't have to. You see what I'm saying? Because that's like how we really were. We were family. Like, nah, like, we're doing this so you don't have to, Ray. Get your ass in school, you know what I'm saying? Get out there on the track, you know what I'm saying? You ain't finna do none of that. That's why we doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say, yeah, it definitely helped push me in track and field, you know, but at the same time, because I had that still kind of in me, it came back to haunt me later during track and field. That really almost, well, it costed me time, you know. My mother both in my life, 100%. But my mom and my father, they are two wise individuals. During that whole time, like, yeah, my mom would, you know, if I asked, hey, I need to get some food, she would send me $10 or whatever, but...
You don't want to do that.
But I don't want to do that, but not only that, they both like, no, we raised you better than that. You figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, like my dad, you know, he was sitting at home 2-3 cars in the, you know, in the house, in the garage, whatever. He could have helped me. But the biggest help that he gave me was by not helping me. And I despised my dad during that time, but now our relationship is unbreakable because as a man now, because of that dark time I went through, and he even told my mama, because my mom in high school and all that was the one to save him. And he would be like, stop saving that boy. So during that time, and she even tell me now, she like, it broke my heart to see you out there struggling and knowing why you struggling, because you was out there doing wrong stuff. You was selling weed, doing all this. I want to help you, but I can't. The most help I can give you is telling you got everything. And then because they didn't help me and I had to get back on track, that's the best help they could have gave.
Right.
Because they had to kept giving me $20, go eat. You know, here, go try and find somewhere to stay. I would have never known how to figure out all this. Because my mom, we used to live we lived in the country, like way in the country. So like from the airport to my city was 1 hour and 15 minutes. Once you got to my city, we lived in the woods. So it was another 30 minutes to get to the woods in the trailer we stayed in. My mom made coach from Tennessee fly down, come see her living room. She made coach from Mississippi State, TCU,
Whoever wanted you.
Auburn, anybody who wanted me, she made them come all the way to that little trailer and sit in her living room and
Just to
tell
make
me
sure.
why you, I know why you want my son.
Yeah.
My son's awesome. But what are you gonna do,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, for my son when he get there? Not on no under the table stuff, because my
wanna
mom,
make
yeah,
sure.
my mom, she worked at Auburn University, so my mom's like, no, his education is what's most important. I wanna know what's going to school. And then like the school I wanted to go to, which was Auburn, she rejected. She was like, no, because that's where I'm from.
Okay.
And she was like, no, you going as far away from here as possible, because if you stay here, you're gonna be hanging out with your friends who ain't in school.
Man, don't your mama know best?
Look, so she was like, I don't give a damn what they trying to offer you. Free ride, whatever, you still not going there.
Right.
So we actually end up picking, well, we went on, this is when the fun part started. After they came to home, then she was like, okay, now we'll come see your school. So that was her process. She made them come in first, and then they had to bring us to the campus. So we went to Mississippi State, of course we went to Auburn. You know, she went to Tennessee and fell in love. She fell in love with Tennessee. When I say fell in love, she's like, it's 2 hours north. And she got to meet the football coach, that Coach Fulmer at that time. She was a huge fan of him. My grandma loved him, and then like when we went on the visit to Tennessee, coaches and everybody my mom and my grandma just fell in love, and by Sunday they was like, he coming. No, that's what she said. She was like, he
so
don't
that's
get.
Where you went?
No, I did not go to Tennessee. Did not go to Tennessee. I ended up going to Texas Tech University. Best worst thing that could ever happen.
How?
Well, it was the best thing because that's where I ended up getting my first Nike deal when I was there.
When was that?
2003.
Okay.
2003.
So what they offer you with the deal?
Who, Nike? Well, they offered me $75,000
For?
just to wear Nike apparel and run in Nike. You know?
That's cool.
And that's the crazy part. A lot of people don't know about track and field. Track and field is a professional sport, just like basketball, baseball, everybody.
Sponsors.
We go every single year. Every year there's competitions. It's not just the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
Like every year we'll have a season that'll start in April, and that season runs from April to September.
All my love. So I ended up running track my senior year because I had talked to, Alabama State wanted me to come play football. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I run track too. And, and then I told her about that. I was like, but I'm really, trying to do football or whatever. Make a long story short, I don't know what happened. I'm going to tell y'all, I have no idea what happened. I just happened to win state. I went to the goddamn state championship and won. And track and field in 100.
So when did it hit you that track could be a career?
Oh, when they cut the check. No, isn't that when everybody feel like whatever it is their career now?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
When they cut the check, that's when I knew track could be a career. I don't know. Cause before then, I didn't even know. Like most people today, don't know that you can make money in track and field. I was clueless. I had no clue. But the minute I found out you could, that changed everything. When I say that changed everything.
What was the first thing you bought?
Oh, man. What was the first thing I bought? Well, it depends. What contract you talking about? That should be
the first contract.
Okay, the first contract, that was in 2003 when Nike gave me $5,000 signing bonus. I don't even know. I don't even remember. I remember the first thing I bought when they gave me when I got that first $75,000. I don't even know. I mean, I know what I mean. I was only 23 years old then. So of course,
It's called jewelry.
Yeah, well, I've always been into watches, so I know I went and bought Jacob the jeweler. You just reminded me. That's exactly what I did. I went about, because that when Jacob and Company was here. And I was like, it's time. I went and got me a Jacob the jeweler. I do remember that. And then, okay, now it's all coming back. Oh man, I had throwbacks for days. I just had to think about the time frame, but I had every throwback you can think of. I'm talking about, man, from Deion Sanders on down. I had every throwback. All the 12s that had came out, all the Jabos you could think of, because I'm 23 years old, and Nike had gave me $75,000, so it was cool, but that's when I realized what track and field really was all about. Like, when I first signed that contract, that deal with Nike, it was like, shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, this thing here is a for real sport. It's just like football, basketball, baseball, everything. You got your agents, you got your shoe companies, you got your meat promoters, you got your, your one day, you want to talk, and then everybody talking to you, speaking to you, like, hey, Ray, what's going on? And then when you fall to the bottom, they walk past you like they don't even know you, but then you run fast again, and hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, track and field is I love it though. I love it because once I learned it, I mastered it literally. And I'll tell you about that anyway. But we used to work out at.
Yeah, track.
That was my track. I used to bring like 2-3 cones out here, and I set my cones up. I would go through all my routines. I'll do my whole workout.
Nobody would bother you?
Because I would come at night. It would be like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night when all the warehouses are shut down, everybody's gone. That's when I come out and do my workout.
Man, your own community, but you was
like when I first got my first contract, man, it was love. You know, it was June. June. And then they had me on a plane to Rome in July. So, you know, I went to Rome to race. I went to Croatia to race that year. And then I was like, you know what? I don't like it. I'm ready to come home. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't never been out of the country before. Well, I had been out of the country because I had been to Chile when I was in the juniors. But what I wasn't used to was running as a professional track athlete with jet lag. You know what I'm saying? So I just came back running 10.0s, and now I get to the track meet in Rome, I'm running 10.3. I'm depressed as hell. Like, I ain't ran 10.3 since high school. You know, but I'm 23 years old. I don't know nothing about jet lag. So I asked them to send me back, man. And then, you know, my agent was like, yeah, go back, you know, get yourself together, get ready for world champs. You know, because I had made the world championship team in 2003. You know, and then got on the plane, got ready to come back. Well, I came back. And then as soon as I got through customs, man, I ended up going to jail. I got locked up in Chicago. I was locked up in Chicago for 30 days. Let me see, it was roughly, I'll say 3 weeks. 3 weeks after I had signed my contract at Nike. I got locked up in Chicago for 30 days on a felony warrant.
What happened?
Real talk.
What happened?
So, I was coming through customs, and I'm coming through customs, they scanned my passport and everything. And then the officer was like, okay, welcome back to America, yada, yada, yada. We need you to go this way. You know, but I'm watching here about everybody else going that way. So I'm like, okay, well, all right, well, I'm going to go that way, you know what I'm saying? So I go over there. I'm still paying attention like something, you know. So they like, what bag is yours? I put my bag out, you know. So they asked me why I'm coming back from Rome. And, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, you know, I just, you know, I'm a professional track athlete now. I just signed a deal with Nike, you know, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, okay, cool, so you're fast. Like, yeah, I'm fast. You know, cool. So, but anyway. So they take me to the room. They're like, well, you know, we just need you to sit right here for a minute. We got to go through some stuff, you know. So dude come back, and he like, well, you got a warrant. You got a nationwide warrant out in Texas. So we got to detain you here so you can get extradited to Texas, right? So here I am just, in my mind, I'm like, because I already knew what it was tied to, though. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I was just like, blown away. I was just like, damn, how the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Trees got a whole lot of energy to them too. A lot of folks don't know that.
I don't even really think my life was the reason why I made it, you know, because, well, let me say it right. Because I went through so much in life and I saw so much in life, and because I was able to overcome so much, it forced me to look at stuff different. You know what I'm saying? Which, the reason why I was able to make it in 2016 Olympic Games was because I had lost so much in life. I took so many L's with all my wins. And my L's outweighed my wins. You know, it's like, yeah, I won by making the team at the USA Championship in 2003. But the L was, well, you didn't even get to go to the World Championship because you was in jail. You see what I'm saying? So I had so many W's and L's in my life, and the L's are so high. I learned a lot during the process of all those L's, all those losses. So what ended up happening was when I became homeless, I got an awakening more than anything. You know, it was like when it's just you and nothing else and nobody else, you know what I'm saying? Then you become one with your thoughts at that point. And that'll either make you or break you. You know, that's why a lot of people get to that breaking point and, well, when you get to nothing, there's only two ways to go. Down and up. And if you at nothing and you go down, those are the people who usually became depressed, suicidal, whatever, even took their life. Because you at that point now. So, or you can go up, and most of the time you hear about those people, they shoot up. You know what I'm saying? And the reason being is because At that point, at that breaking point, it's only you and your thoughts. Now, when it's you and your thoughts, it's you and the gods and the negative entities. So to make it in a statement the way people understand, when it's just you and your thoughts, it's God and the devil. That's who pulling on you now. The devil is kind of like going to end it all. God is like, no, figure it out. You heal. You know what I'm saying? Stay strong. You know what I'm saying? So when you can sit there and that's all you got to deal with on a daily basis, that is what made me win, you know what I'm saying, make it to the Olympic Games, is because when I got to that point, I was able to hear the voice of God a whole lot more clear. And then the clearer I could hear the voice of God, the more I understood who and what I was. And once I understood who and what I was like, there's no way in hell I'm finna be down here at the bottom like this. You know what I'm saying? So that was my switch over point to where I was no longer the same Ray. Because the Ray before that point would have never made it to the Olympic Games. He was on a destructive path. He wasn't gonna make it there. It was that moment when I had nothing, and then I was able to clearly hear the voice of God, and then I started learning more, and I started hearing the voice of more and more gods. At that point in time, my thinking just completely changed, and that was 5 years ago.
Your prophets, and they would go to places to be alone. They would go to top of mountains to be alone and meditate, or they would go out deep into the woods to meditate. So when I was going through that, coming out of that dark phase that I was in, and I was homeless, whatever, I knew I needed somewhere like that. So the universe literally just led me to this place. So like I call this is my serenity area, and actually, I don't even bring a lot of people back here, like at all, because it's one of those places to where I keep it sacred to me, to where most people that I know in Dallas don't even know this place even exists, except for the people who actually live here. So this is just the beginning part though.
Anytime that it's Olympic year, or any year for that matter, Olympic year, World Championship year, whatever year it is, you got to try out, all right? And by trying out, you also got to qualify for a tryout, all right? So, say for example, to make it to the U.S. trials, you got to run a time of 10.16 or better, okay? That makes you an automatic qualifier to the Olympic trials. Now, once you get to the Olympic trials, you got to finish top 3 in any event to go to the Olympic Games. Got it? Now, if in any event the top 3 people don't qualify for the Olympic Games, whoever is the fastest 3 people get to go. All right. So here's what happens though. Every year we spend races upon races upon races and chasing time. We'll race 3-4 times a week, trying to qualify. So what I did was I said, you know what, I'm finna do some godless stuff, and I ain't even finna go through a whole season. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by I ain't finna go through a whole season is I'm gonna pick one track meet and I'm gonna qualify that one track meet. That was the gift and the curse, because the gift was I was able to do that. I was able to do that because I learned so much prior in my 15 years of track and field. So I literally mastered the art of sprinting. I feel like, I'm not gonna say this, in disrespect to any of the track and field coaches out there, but I feel like nobody knows the 100-meter dash and knows the 100-meter dash and knows sprinting better than me. I truly feel like that. So, and I feel as though I proved that my Olympic year, because I picked that one track meet and I qualified at that one track meet. This right here, this taco
Oh, okay, the taco spot.
For about a month straight, I ate beans and rice out of here every day. Cause I was living off of like a $10 budget. So every day I would walk from this walking to show y'all. I would walk from there to here every morning.
How much was it?
I don't like for both of them, I usually pay like $4. But I think the people started to catch on to what was going on. So when I was going in, they started piling up even more. You know what I'm saying? It was like, like, oh, here's, some more beans, some more rice, you know what I'm saying? And then they started like adding in some chips, whatever, and the woman just a wink at me. You know what I'm saying? So
Like, don't worry about
yeah,
it.
you know, I kind of felt like they caught on. Like he walking over, he come over every day. He don't get out no car. I pretty much was wearing the same stuff like every other day. So I think they kind of figured it out. You know. Yeah, so, you know, but, and that's one of the reasons why, like, I be trying to tell one of my athletes I train, like, it's hard for me to have any type of empathy for people when it's like, I got a car but I ain't got no gas. Well, I had to catch a bus and ride a train.
It's a way for everything. If you want something, you'll get it and you'll find a way to get to it.
Yep.
It's a way to do anything that you want.
Yep.
Might not be easy. You might gotta walk to your meal every day, but shit, you're gonna get ate. You're gonna get fed. Yeah.
Right here, this is Sunbelt letterpress. So he sold the building. That's one reason why I had to leave. So what? Right here, I actually used to sleep in a warehouse. Well, this warehouse right here.
Okay.
I used to sleep in an office here in it. And
was it like people working here? Or?
Yeah. But they would leave at like 5, but I would stay in the office and, you know, sleep here. So I would take my showers. Well, I wouldn't really shower. I would bathe in the sink. Yeah. Every morning I would bathe in the sink, dry with paper towels.
You'll come in when people was here and just leave?
No, I would stay all day.
Not leave, but like wait till they leave.
Well, no, I would stay all day because I had my music equipment and stuff in there. So I would be there. Yeah, the owner. He told me, he was like, you know, go ahead, you know, do what you gotta do. Yeah, and he let me stay for free for like 3 months until he had to sell it.
Man.
Trees have seen more than anybody that's walked this earth. They've seen more than anybody. They hold more energy and more information than anybody. So when I found this tree, it was like something was just telling me like, sit here. So I'd get right here underneath the tree.
It is a lot of trees out here though. So
and I'd sit right here, you know, and then I'd always, you know, just kind of look up and realize where I'm at, and then I just sit here and I just, you know,
so
think,
I mean, like, what
meditate.
was one of the main things that you was really just going through your head, that you was really just thinking every time that you would be here, like a main, you know, like, man, I gotta get out, or, you know, like, what's my next move?
It was really more of telling myself that you better than this. You know, like, I mean, because when I was at this moment, this was after I had lost everything. So this was after, you know, the famous Usain Bolt race when I'm in it. This is after, you know, I done been to the World Championships and did all of that. This period was after I had already had, you know, a condo with, you know, 3 cars. I lost all that. So really, I was just trying to come and remind myself, like, Ray, you better than this. You better than what you have become. Materials. And exactly. So I really didn't have no goals in mind. It was really just, I would come here and I would remind myself that where you're at in life right now is a phase. And I would sit and be quiet after that. I'd close my eyes and be quiet. Because in order for you to hear the voice of God, or the voice of the gods, or any god, you can't talk. Because they speak to us through our thoughts. So anytime I would sit and just be quiet, and any thought I would have in my mind, I knew that that wasn't me. That was, you know, God. You know, so if it was like, you know, Ray, you know what? You probably should try and catch the bus to downtown or whatever. It's just a random thought, you know what I'm saying? But I knew that as long as I'm sitting here and still, those random thoughts was coming from a good place. So I would just lead it and I would just follow it. And a lot of stuff happened that way for me because, you know, I'd be out here and they'd be like, you know what, Ray? Today you should probably catch the train and go to this place, and I end up meeting somebody. And then they end up pointing me in another direction.
That universe be working.
There you go. And the way that the universe can work the best is if you can be one with the universe. You can't be any more one with the universe than you can when you're sitting up under the tree. Which was 2016. This is where I did all my training at. I did all my training here on this track.
By yourself?
Yeah, because I didn't have a coach. I'm my own coach. Like after 2009 was the last time I actually utilized and had a coach. But I like this track for a couple reasons. One, this.
Oh,
you know, if you look right here next to the track, look at these houses. You know, look at these houses, and
So when I was working out, this would motivate me more because I'm like, this is what I'm trying to get to. This is why I'm out here on the track. So when I'm getting ready to do my, last stride or whatever over here, I just look right there. I'm like, Ray, this is what you out here for.
Right.
You know.
You can't stop.
You can't stop. You know what I'm saying? Just
That's
a constant reminder of why you out here and why you doing this stuff. And that's why I still come over here now. Like I train my athletes, myself, even when I'm still working out, just as that constant reminder.
You bring your clients.
Yeah, I bring my clients over here. Everybody, and then like nobody. It's another one of those places like the place we went to yesterday that nobody knows is here.
The Serenity.
Yeah, it's another one. It's just like every time somebody come, they like, this is a public court.
You needed that seclusion from everybody in the world.
Yep.
That's cool. So like, where did track start in your lifetime? Was it like childhood, teenage?
Oh man. Oh. Ooh. Well, you know what's funny? I hate the track. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. So the only reason why, just like every story has a girl in it. The only reason why I started running track was because of this girl I had a crush on, and she ran track, and I'm ninth grade year. She ran 400. I never ran track. I was a football star. So I went out and I ran, and after the first practice, I quit. I was like, yeah, hell no. Because I was super tired. We had like some 400s and some.
Man.
I was like, yeah, now she cute and all, but this
not for this.
She ain't this damn cute.
Okay.
So I ended up coming back and running my 11th grade year of high school. And the only reason why I ran was because of football. Like I wanted to get faster in football.
Yeah.
So, but what happened was my 11th grade year, I was content because my first year running track and field ever. I was getting like third place a lot. And it was shocking to me because I was like, okay. But there was this kid who was younger than me, we was on the same track team, Corey Larkins. Mm-hmm. He would always win, and I would always get like third. And it was like a Batman and Robin duo, so I was always content with it. But what started happening was the city wasn't big enough for 2 stars. Black only wanted 1. So everybody was still praising him. And I've never liked being second best at anything. So when I realized it, I was like, you know what? You're not gonna beat me next year. I told him that at the end of my 11th grade year, I was like, you're not gonna beat me. Because in my city, he was the fastest forever, like from kid on up.
Right.
Everybody knew him. If you mentioned Corey Larkin's name, it was speed. Like in Pee Wee football, if he got the ball in reverse, nobody's catching it. So my whole mindset after my 11th grade year was, I'm gonna beat you. Like, I'm gonna beat you. So I literally took track serious my senior year in high school just because I wanted to beat Corey Larkins.
Okay.
But what happened was, I ended up beating Corey Larkins, and I had to run super fast to beat him, so fast that I ended up having to win the whole damn state championship. Like, 'cause he was that fast. He did like third. So when I won, it changed everything because it closed every football door I had. Like, because all I wanted to do was go play football.
Right.
After I won state, I was supposed to go to Alabama A&M and play football. But then Auburn University offered me a scholarship to come run track and walk on the football field team. Make a long story short, that was this is real life. 1999 was the year, my graduating year. 1999 was the year that I took track serious and won state. The following year, the summer of 2000, I was ranked number 1 in the world for the 100 and the 200 at 19 years old, for 19 and under.
So it was an accident.
It was an accident. And then when I went to junior college first. In junior college, my freshman year, I won everything.
Yeah.
Literally, I won indoor 200, I won outdoor 100, outdoor 200, and then I went to U.S. Junior Nationals. I won outdoor 100, outdoor 200, and this is the year 2000. I was 19 years old and I qualified for Olympic trials. And
you
like,
wasn't even supposed to be running track.
I wasn't supposed to be running track. So then I got stuck.
Yeah, now you gotta run.
Now I gotta run. Like literally, it was like overnight in 2 years, it was like, you're a track superstar now. I needed to run 10.16 to get into, to be an automatic qualifier for the Olympic Games and for the trials.
So where'd you try out at?
Nigeria. This is when I did Nigerian trials.
So I hit, but I didn't have to try out though. Let me explain that part. I didn't have to try out because 10.16 was an automatic Olympic qualifying time. You feel me? So it didn't matter when we got to Nigeria at that point, because in order for anybody to go, 3 people had to run faster than 10.16, and Nigeria just wasn't that strong then. So I was in the Olympics, like I'm there, like no, done, you know, because ain't gonna be nobody else. We might get 1 or 2 other people to qualify, but that's gonna be it. And it ain't gonna be at our trials, because our trials are so horrible because of the conditions we run in. I already knew all this. I had planned all this, so I was like, Ray, you're gonna have to hit the time before you get to Nigeria, because you're not gonna hit it in Nigeria because you know everything about it. You know your circumstances down there. So make a long story short, that's what happened, right? So I qualified for the trials. I went to the Olympic trials, got to the Olympic trials. Didn't even matter that I got, you know what I'm saying, I pulled out whatever, because nobody, you know, was running fast. So I get back to America. I'm training in America. I got out, well, before, let me say it right. Before I leave Nigeria, they, after the trials, they got a post who is going to the Olympic Games. So everybody, all the athletes up, you know, all the athletes up just waiting on the list to get posted, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of folks shut it down, you know what I'm saying? I sat up, you know, because I had never made an Olympic Games in a 100-meter dash ever. So I was sitting up in the lobby. I was waiting for them to post it. And I was like, you know what, they ain't going to post it tonight. So I went to my little room, and then my roommate came with me. They're like, they don't posted the results. They posted the team up. So I was like, oh, shoot. So I ran, because, you know, I was saying, oh, shoot, because I knew about the politics. Because of how I qualified, I was like, I qualified without even having to go to the trials. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of nervous. But anyway, when I got to the thing, I looked at the list, and it was like, 100-meter dash, Rio 2016. There was 2 other athletes, and then Monzavous was, and I was like, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I was so crunk is because I had already developed a plan to demolish everybody at the Olympic Games without even using drugs. I don't think folks understand just how smart I am now, because from 2013 into 2016, day for day, all I did was track and field. So I did was study track and field. So anyway, here's how we got to how I didn't get into the Olympic Games, right? I didn't get to the Olympic Games because I qualified at 1 track meet, and out of that 1 track meet, it made me an Olympic qualifier, but I did it at a track meet that was so small that they didn't know the protocol to go through to send the paperwork in to prove that I had ran that time. So even though that they could, you know, the results was on the IAAF and all that Ray had ran it, they didn't send in the proper paperwork for it to actually count. And we didn't find out until a week before the Olympic Games. And so the week before Olympic Games, everybody's scrounging every day trying to get me in. You know, Nigeria's pulling everything. We email it back and forth all day. We talking to everybody. And they got petitions going online and everything. Let Ray run. That was a hashtag. Let Ray run. You know what I'm saying? So, but then what ended up happening was the president of IAAF, he sent me an email. He was like, Ray, you know how this thing go. You know, if I can't put you in, because if I put you in, it's gonna mess up the lane assignments for the whole Olympic Games, and we just can't afford to do that. And he was like, I'm sorry, but they dropped the ball on this one, and that was it. You know, that was it. There's nothing I could do about it. My city looked out for me. I ain't even gonna lie. They threw on what they called Ray Day.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So what they did was it was August 14th.
Okay.
So what they did was my cousin, he actually was running for office down there. So we got together and we created these shirts that said from Opelika to Rio. So they did that, and I had my signature on the back of it. And so when I flew home, they had a meet and greet for me at Buffalo Wild Wings. And it was just like my whole city just came out and just was like, you know,
Thanks.
Ray Day. You still an Olympian.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
even though they messed up, you still an Olympian because you still did everything you were supposed to do. So, like, man, shout out to my city for that, because that got me back going. Cause like when I went home and I just seen all those folks with the shirts on and
I wish Dallas could
meeting
come together
everybody,
a little more.
man, that did it for me. That did it for me. And the whole city, like, man, we still proud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, Opelika, man, I love my hometown.
say it without saying it, it's nothing more than a brotherhood of men who know what needs to be done to make sure that life functions the way it functions.
Okay.
Literally.
So I created an app. Well, actually, I've created a couple apps. I've created, God, man, I probably created about 8 or 9 apps already. You know, I've only created one successfully though. You know, and that's I created this app called GoChyro. And what GoChyro is the world's only on-demand. Oh wow, let me say on-demand. See, GoChyro's on my mind. GoChyro is the world's only on-demand chiropractic app. Pretty much, to sum it up, think Uber with chiropractors. That's all I did. I literally just had a thought one day. I was just sitting there, I was like, cause I see my chiropractor a lot. And my chiropractor would, you know, he would always bring his table. He had a portable table he would bring to my house, you know, adjust me there. So I just had this thought one day. I was like, man, what if everybody could get that? And I thought Uber, and I thought chiropractor. And so I just pretty much, I went and literally screenshot everything that Uber had, and then I went and drew it over, and I passed it off to my developer. Cause I own an app company, you know, so I develop apps for other people. They bring app ideas to us, you know, and then and we, you know, develop their apps. So when I came up with mine, I was like, I slid it to them, and it was like, who app this is? I was like, it's another one of mine. And it was like, who app it is? Because I done gave them like 9 different app ideas, and we always start to think about them, brainstorm on them, and then be like, nah, this one ain't gonna work because of that. You know, nah, this ain't gonna work because of that. But GoChyro was so simple, it was just like, yeah, we can build this one. You know, so right now, that's what I'm really focusing on, you know, GoChyro, you know, on-demand app, along with all the other apps that I'm still, you know, trying to create and come up with. I mean, outside of that, I just started, I just partnered with a friend of mine. We have a non-profit organization now. And real quick about that non-profit organization, we literally just started it. And the reason being was because I feel like now is a better time for me to be able to go and talk to the younger Ray Edwards, to be like, hey, everything you doing, I've done. Everything that you doing, I've already did. And everything you thinking about doing, I've probably already done or have become. So now it's an easier time for me to go back. You know, the people are always like, well, why don't you go motivate? You know, anytime you're doing something good, but it's like, think about me, like back when I was going to the World Championships, I was still, you know, not right. I was still doing stupid stuff in the street. So I can't go motivate nobody if I ain't, you know what I'm saying? So I started a nonprofit, we started a nonprofit organization now, you know what I'm saying, to pretty much go back and mentor, you know, young boys, young men, use it through the art of sprinting, you know, through exercise. And, you know, we're not stopping there, you know. We also go into the shelters and using exercise to do the exact same thing, you know, to try and motivate them to get them back to, you know, civilization, you know, even if something small as, you know, get them fit, you know, teach them, you know, motivate them a little bit, teach them some new stuff, you know, comb their hair, you know, stuff like that. You know, you never know how you can change, you know, impact somebody. So I'm doing that, you know, of course, charity work. Do your charity work, all right? So outside of that, of course, you know, I own my own personal training business, you know, so.
Okay. So, where we at?
All right. Right now, this is actually what I like to call my fitness domain, and one of my people just showed up, coincidentally.
One of your clients?
Yeah, well, he's actually here for rehab. So, I've been here on this property for 5 years. And it's funny because back in 2013, right when I was coming out of that, I used to be homeless, believe it or not. So right when I was coming out of that homeless phase, one of my friends, Brandon, he gave me a call. He was like, what are you doing? What you got going on? And I was like, nothing. I need something. Because I was broke, didn't really have nothing going on. So he was explaining to me, he was like, well, this property that I live on, which is this one here, is looking for boot camp instructors. And then he was like, well, we can work out a deal with them to where if you know, give a boot camp at least once or twice a week, let them use your name and your, identity as an Olympian for an amenity. They'll let you train at the gym here. So I actually was living in Mesquite when I got that phone call. So I was taking a bus, a train, and another bus just to get here. And I was making roughly $50 a week, but it would take me an hour and a half. I didn't have my car, so it was taking me an hour and a half to get from Mesquite all the way to the gym to do a 1-hour boot camp.
But there's no bus in Mesquite.
Yeah, exactly. So
You got to get the car.
So how you get to the bus from Mesquite?
well, it was I would walk 1.5 miles to the bus stop. So I would walk roughly 1.5 miles to the bus stop, and then I would catch the bus and 30-45 minute bus ride to downtown. And then I would catch the train from downtown to Urban Convention Center station. And then I would catch another bus from there to here. It was an hour and 45 minutes. It took me longer to
That's a
commute
good
here.
catch,
Yeah, just to eat. It took me longer to commute here than it did for me to actually work here.
Yeah.
For
But
that
it
1
looks
hour.
nice. I mean, I like it. It's pretty open. It's nice.
Well, the good thing about it is no overhead. And
You
you
don't
know
have
what
a
that
boss.
means. Exactly.
Work
Like,
for yourself.
there you go. And long as I uphold my end of the bargain, which I've been doing for 5 years, I do my boot camps for, free boot camps for all the residents. I give free, yoga, abs, the whole works. So and it's been beautiful because the front office, they was a little weary about it at first, because it was like, wow, we're just gonna try this. It turned out perfect. Like we've had all type of camps here, and we've had first aid camps, we've had blood donation, blood drives here.
Like how many people, like clients, would you say show up about?
Peak season, which is like right around October through March, we'll usually have in boot camp 12 to 13 people every night. During that time, as far as like my personal sessions with clients, I'll reach up to 32, 33 people.
Yeah.
Which why I'm here every day at 10:30. And I do mornings from like 10:30 until roughly, 1:30, 2:30. I take a break to like 5:30, and I go again from 5:30 to roughly 8:30 at night. Every day, except for Fridays. I take Friday evenings off.
I mean, but you can
That's
do
about
that.
it.
That's
Yeah.
the beauty of having your own business.
The thing that as people we gotta keep in mind is that there are no bunk bed coffins, and what I mean by that is when you die, you're gonna die alone. You came in here, you came in alone. When you look in the mirror, you see you. So you need to focus more on making you happy, because the more you can make you happy, the more happiness that can be spread. If you're miserable, then how you gonna help anybody else be happy? And it's a selfish approach when you think about it, because it's like, well, no, I care more about my happiness than I care about your own happiness. So I'm not gonna do anything that's not gonna make me happy. Yeah, that might sound a little selfish, but think about it though. If I focus on making me happy, I'm always happy, then that'll help you be happy. Because if you do the same thing, if you focus on making yourself happy and not trying to make somebody else happy, which makes you in turn sad or mad, make yourself happy first, I make myself happy first, we're happy people. Now guess what? The world gets along a whole lot better. Make yourself happy before you make other people happy.